So let's go ahead and take a look at these types of problems with counters, okay? So if you remember from yesterday, and I'll write it out again, okay, we can consider this 5 groups of -3. So what that looks like is you have 5 groups that each have 3 negatives in them. So 1, 2, 3. They kind of look like faces, don't they? 4, 5. And then all together, what do we have? Well, let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. We have 15 negatives. Okay. Now, just like yesterday, we talked about how when you can multiply in any order. So instead of doing -2 times 7, we could do 7 times -2. So what that is 7 groups with 2 negatives each, okay? So we're going to do 1 group, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all together, this is all negatives. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 negatives. Okay. And that last one, 4 groups of -4. So we'll have 4 groups with 4 negatives each in them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All together, how many negatives do we have?
16.
16. Okay. All right, on your whiteboards now. So I'm going to put a question up here. You're going to do it on your whiteboard and hold it up so that Miss Lakey and I can see how you're doing. Okay. Okay, try that one. Correct sign, but make sure your multiplication is correct. Do you need this too? Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Okay, flip it. All right, awesome. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, try that. Oh, you guys are fast. Okay, this table's good. This table's good. You guys are good. or we have a negative times the negative. Okay, let's go back to our notes. All right, let's take a look at that first one. And I'm going to write out what this means here. Remember that that negative out in front refers to the opposite. So we can say the opposite of 3 groups of -4. Well, the opposite of 3 groups of -4 will be 3 groups of +4. And this pen is not working very well. Oh, here's a better one. Okay. So the opposite of 3 groups of -4 would be 3 groups of +4. So 1 group of +4, 2 groups of +4, 3 groups of +4. So altogether, that is 12 positives. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. The opposite of 5 groups of -2 would be 5 groups of +2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, that last one. The opposite of 6 groups of -2 would be 6 groups of +2. Okay? Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Not too bad, right? Hopefully. You guys did pretty well on this yesterday. Let's try a couple on our whiteboards. Let's do the same one we did the last time, but just change it up a little bit. So now this is -7 times -4. Let's try another one. Let's do -6 times -3. Try that. This table, you guys are good. This table is good. This table's good. Let's talk about the rules, and then we'll get some mixed practice in. Okay. All right, I want to hear your voices. When we multiply a positive number by a positive number, the answer will be positive. Good. That's what you learned in 3rd grade. I think that's when you do your multiplication facts is 3rd grade. Okay. Now let's take a look above. When we multiplied a positive times a negative, what was the sign of our answer?
Negative.
Awesome. And when we multiplied a negative times a positive, the answer was? Okay, and then just these problems above here, a negative times a negative, what's the sign of the answer?
Positive.
Whew, you guys are awesome. You're on fire today. Okay, awesome. So these notes are valuable. If you get stuck and you can't quite remember what the sign of the answer should be, this tells you, so you can just pull it out and take a look. I also have another tool that I want to share with you, and it's my triangle trick. If you make a triangle and you put a positive on the top and a negative in the two bottom corners like that, then here's what we do. Let me zoom in a little bit. We're going to try it on these problems below to help us out. Okay, that first one is a negative times a negative. So what I do is I use my fingers and I say, I cover up two negatives, a negative times a negative, so the answer will be positive. Okay, so you cover up negative 5 times a negative 6, which means the answer will be positive. And then you just multiply regularly. This will be 30. Now look at number 2. We have a positive times a negative. So if I cover up a positive and a negative, that tells me that my answer is going to be? Negative, yes. So negative 28. And our triangle doesn't work for positive times a positive, but you guys have been doing that for years, so I think you're fine. Okay, so 8 times 2 is 16. Now again, a negative times a negative, the answer will be positive, right? So this is a tool for you if you want to draw a little triangle on your papers, especially like on a test or a quiz. You can put a little triangle on that paper and try it out, okay? All right, all you need out right now is your whiteboard and a pen. We're going to do a little bit more practice, and then I'll give you some time to work on your homework for tonight. Yeah, Jake.
For homework, do you have to use the characters or can you just solve them?
You can just solve it. Okay. If you would like to have a multiplication chart out, you can turn to your multiplication chart if you're not so sure about your multiplication facts, okay? All right, you ready? So you're going to write down the answer and hold it up. Negative 8 times 4, let's see it. Throw those positives times positives in there usually. This table's good. That table's good. You guys are good. What if it's this? All right, fabulous. What if it is that? Okay, remember a Good. Awesome, you guys. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to work on your homework, so go ahead and take that out. Let me show you where to file these pages.